And I just want to get into it quick, aka Patters. That's what she said. Peter A. DeLuca here. Welcome back to the channel. Right there, Superman the Animated Series. This is the topic. We're doing a lot of Superman stuff on this channel. I have to put this idea out there because a lot of people are missing. I'm seeing a lot of bad business on the YouTube, on the Facebook, on the X, on the Twitter, on the TikTok, and so on and so forth. A lot of people are trying to put the idea out there that James Gunn's Superman, the Superman legacy, it's almost like a return of the character. It's this big moment, and we really did get close with Man of Steel, and Man of Steel. I would say, like, by the time it hit home video, by the time people were able to watch it at home, there was like a deconstruction with Man of Steel. And there was like no recovery because the audience really was split with that movie. But when it came out, everyone seemed to love it when it came out. So as I was growing up, DC always was the media. Like they did, Marvel always had the comics, but DC always had the media. This is pre-Marvel Cinematic Universe. There was a Christopher Reeve, Richard Donner Superman movie, 4 movies, Swamp Thing, the animated series, Swamp Thing live action, the Flash live action, the Michael Keaton movies, the Joel Schumacher Batman movies, which I absolutely adore. And then along the way, we had like a Shazam cartoon, Aquaman cartoon, Adventures of Superman, multiple series there. But it was always Superman. Like, Superman really drove DC Comics. Halfway decent arcade game too. Marvel just always looked, and this was for a few decades. They always just seemed to be a little bit behind. DC had the movies, DC had the box office, and then we had this shift. Marvel really took everything over. They in 2008, no looking back. Even now, even the current state of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, no looking back. But people forget that, post Michael Keaton movie, that Batman animated series, it was perfectly teed up. Critically loved the moment the first frame hit. A generation later, we'll say, when the kids grow up, everyone looked back at the X-Men the animated series with like rose-colored lenses and really pumped that stock. But the Batman, the animated series it was truly impactful when they transitioned into Gotham Knights. Impactful. Batman Beyond. Beyond good. I remember being super upset when I read about the cancellation or the non-return of that show. But Marvel always was behind. And then DC Comics really becomes a Dark Knight, becomes a Batman distribution company. Video games, toys, so on and so forth. The iterations of the toys alone. I remember, it might have been Kenner, produced maybe like a golden 100 Batman figure, like the 100th figure. And I believe by the time they got to Batman Beyond, it was like 200. You can buy those. You can buy those in. Oops, sorry, almost spilled my coffee there. You could bought those in KB Toys. Superman Returns came and went, disappointed people, but the true end of Superman was the zero love that the animated series got. The Batman animated series was so big, so impactful, it programmed a generation. people were ready for that Superman show, and it just didn't deliver. We got some good Superman moments in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, but relatively at that point, Superman as a character faded into the darkness. And everyone wanted Henry Cavill. They wanted Zack Snyder and Henry Cavill to really bring that character back in a insanely monumental way. A lot of the storyline, like a lot of good setup, like all of this stuff. You can say what you want, but there was some really good groundwork there. And when that faded, that's the birth of this Zack Snyder rebellion. These rebels that are all over X and all over YouTube and all over social media. He literally has an army. It's because people know that character was close to coming back in a giant way, and a lot of it really is the sex appeal of Henry Cavill. The guy's sexy. Like, what can you say? Sex sells. But the failure of Superman the Animated Series really was the end of that character. Comic book wise, never returned in an impactful manner. Had some good runs, good stories, but never had that moment. His ripoffs, Apollo from The Authority, Hyperion from Marvel, Sentry from Marvel, everything you see in The Boys, Homelander, the archetype of Superman. Technically, we can even argue The Rock and Black Adam, right? These Superman archetypes had bigger moments, even within the comics, more so than Superman. Apollo had more moments in The Authority than Superman did in DC Comics. Jeff Johns and crew tried to elevate it. They got close. But no one looks back at the Jeff Johns, that level of work at DC. You know, people just want to go to The Flash and Green Lantern, and rightfully so. That's well earned. I recommend his Aquaman. I think he's the second best Aquaman run next to Peter David. So here on social media, when we get people with a level of analysis of this character potentially returning and coming back in a big way, it's not there. It's really not. And that's what this movie's up against. It's really up against not reminding people about the character. Superman literally has to redefine the character in such an epic way. It whites everything else out. And in contrast to The Dark Knight, there's a reason why, since that Tim Burton movie, DC Comics became a Dark Knight distributor. They were out of the Superman business. Now, let me know. Am I crazy? Let me know in the comments. Love you guys.